My name is J.R. Arthur, aka the Pixel Monkey, and my vlogs are about the mental aspect of things or just the emotional attachment to things, but this one might be a little bit off or a little bit different. How do you turn the nightmare client into the dream client? It's not the easiest thing, but it's also not the hardest thing. First and foremost, when you're scared of something, what are you looking for? You're looking to feel comforted. You're looking for somebody to settle your nerves. You're looking for somebody to just set you at ease. That's typically all you want, is just somebody to show that they care about what you're going through inside. So when you get a project and you get that client and they're being a pain in the ass, typically what you want to do is walk them through the process. Hold their hand the whole way through. You basically have to train them to know what it is you're doing. They're not designers. They're not videographers. They're not sound designers. They're not visual effects people. They have no clue usually how to do any of that stuff. But you know what? We do. That's what we get paid for. That's what they're paying us for. They're paying us to know how to do those things. But for some strange reason, they won't just let go. They want to hold on tight and guide you through the process like they went to school for it, or they trained for it, or they've been doing it. But the way to set them at ease is to go, this is what we're going to be doing on your project, or this is what we're going to be doing in your video, or in your graphics piece, or in your visual effects piece, or sound, whatever the case may be. The response or answer is still basically the same. You're going to tell the client, this is what I'm going to do. They want to know how you're going to start, how you're going to finish. And because they don't know that, they then turn into the biggest pains in your ass. And it's because this one really gets me boiling sometimes, because this is where the emotional side of it comes in for us, the people who have to do the work. Well, when you have somebody yap, 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 yap in your ear, or give you that Charlie Brown sound, the wah, 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 all the time while you're trying to get work done, you ultimately just want to slap the heck out of them, or you just want to leave the job, or the politically incorrect thing is you want to cuss them out. I usually have all the above feelings, but I don't know what feelings you have. But I could almost guarantee they're not always settled. And this is the way to get the client to mellow out so that you can mellow out and get the job done. What you're going to do is hold their hand and tell them what you're going to do first and why you're going to do it. It may seem like too much information, but what I've found in my career, and this may not apply to every situation, but it has applied to most, is once a client feels like they're starting to know what you're doing and why you're doing it and how you're handling their stuff, they back off. They tend to just let it go, let you work, and you can do your thing. And that's perfect. But it usually is not that easy. They don't just stop right there. Once they start to feel a little at ease, they're like, okay, now we might not ask you a question every 5 minutes or every 6 minutes. What we're gonna do is wait until 6 minutes and 30 seconds and ask you more stuff that we don't understand, and that's gonna take up your time and you can't get my project done. So what you're gonna do is, once you explain that to them, you wanna tell them, I'm not trying to talk to you like you're a kid, but I want you to understand, and this is the easiest way for me to explain it to you. If you feel like I'm undermining you, please let me know. And they'll usually say, no, that's perfectly fine. Talk to me like a kid. It's really the only time that you can talk to people like that, is once you've brought it up and said that. And then they feel like their money is in good hands. So you'll explain it to them. And some people don't do well with just simple explanations. Some people need visuals. We're creative people, aren't we? That's what we do. We create visuals. Or I guess if you're a sound person, it's more audio. you give them a sample of what it is you're gonna do, or you develop a mood board, or you develop storyboards, or you do a mock-up and let them get a piece of what you're gonna do. And then that way, it does two things. It will tell you, do they like where you're going? And now, can they trust me? And once you get that approval, or you get that go ahead, or you get the feedback that says, well, I like the way you're going with this, but can we try this? Can we do this? Now you have a partner in crime. But that partner in crime will lay back a little bit because you're starting to show them something. And even though I love to do video work, I get a lot of this in the print side of stuff. Right now, I'm working on laying out a book, and they love me as a designer, this particular client. But they had never laid out a book before, so they were constantly wondering, like, how does this work? What goes on? What goes on? And then finally I go, well, in my head I said, I've explained this 1,000,000 times, but what I didn't do is show you a sample of what you're gonna get. Once I showed them that, they left me alone. We get to work. Let's move forward. And not only let's move forward, they also now trusted me to do other parts of a job that I wasn't contracted for. What does that mean? More money. Everybody loves that part. Getting more money, especially when it's unplanned money. Because now I have extra in my bank account. But I also have a client who believes in me and believes in what I can do and trusts that I know their messaging. So now that nightmare of a client, and that particular client wasn't a nightmare, they were just nitpicky. And they weren't nitpicky solo. I was dealing with multiple people, but now they feel a little at ease. But then sometimes it doesn't stop there. What's another way to make them feel at ease even more? Give checkpoints. As designers or videographers or creative people in general, we don't always like being bothered. Sometimes you just want to be in your silo, get the work done, and leave it alone. But for us, that's great because we know where we're going. We're at ease at this point. But the client still is feeling a little like, this is going to be a long time before I know what else is going on. So you give checkpoints. So you may go, in 3 weeks, I'll show you something else. That's a little long because most projects aren't running that long. You will have some. So say in 4 days, I'll show you where I'm at. You'll get more visuals and we'll keep moving from there, and you tell me if you want to change something or move forward. Now, not only did you let them know you're going to come to them again, you're asking them for their feedback. Everybody wants to be heard. Everybody wants to put their stamp on a project. So what did we just do? We just let them know we care what you think. It's not just my design and then you get it and I get the money. It's we worked on this together. We're partners in this right now. Now they're completely, almost definitely at ease. And what did I just say? Almost? Why aren't they completely on board now? Well, this is why they're not completely on board. Because the next thing they're wondering is, can I make the timeline that you set for me? Will I hit that deadline? And why did I say that? Because that's a question I get asked all the time. Is with all the work that you're doing, with all that you've showed me, it's a lot of work. And where it might be a little bit behind schedule. How are you going to hit the deadline? Or can you hit the deadline? And there's not too many designers, artists, creatives that go, oh, we're not going to hit the deadline. Because typically, if you feel like you're not going to hit the deadline, that's usually stuff you say in the beginning of the project, like, we need more time based on this. Or sometimes you don't find out until later. But still, they want to know where you're going to be in a period of time. So now what you have to do is show them this is what's happening from here. We may not have another checkpoint, but based on what I've showed you, based on your feedback, based on how I feel about your job at this point, I can guarantee that this is going to happen at this time. And I'll even do you one better. I'll deliver it 2 to 3 days early. Why would I do that? That is kind of crazy. But you know what? It gives them the chance to give you any changes that they have in those 2 to 3 days before the deadline is complete. So that way you're not scrambling at the last minute making their corrections, because even when they give you changes, guess what? That damn deadline doesn't change. People want changes, but they want it in the same time that they were asking for it to begin with. And that often is not the right way for them to go about it, but if they're paying for it, that's what they're telling you. So what are you going to do? Are you going to give back the money after you've done that much work? No, you're not. You'll probably keep the deposit, but you don't want to lose the client because, for one, the client paid you well, or the client knows a lot of people and they can refer you to somebody else. So what you're going to do is just reassure them that everything is working out fine. You know what a testimonial is. It's other people saying how good you've treated them, how good your customer service was, how the quality of your work was, how fast you got stuff done. Well, those things, when they take them to other people, are your calling card. It becomes your resume. It becomes your billboard. You didn't pay for that promotion. You did what you were going to do anyway so that you can get that promotion, so you can get that advertisement. And guess what? At that point, that nightmare then becomes a dream. Your nightmare has turned into a dream because it oftentimes will generate more business. It will generate better testimonials. It'll generate better attitudes from other people you approach that have talked to this client. And this client will also now vouch for you to help you get bigger jobs in most cases. Because even sometimes jobs that you can't do, that client will remember how you treated them. And when you go to them and say, do you mind giving me this reference or being a reference for me? And they'll be like, sure, you were great. I have no problem giving you a reference. And then that's how you turn that nightmare client into your dream. And what do dreams do? They help you sleep easier at night, make you feel more comfortable, set your mind at ease, and in this case, keeps the money going to your bank account. Having a nightmare client is not that easy to deal with. Well, it is. It's just the best approach for you is, for one, keep yourself calm. 2, know where you're going with the project. And 3, be knowledgeable about what you're doing. It works even on salary jobs. If you're dealing with project managers, or you're dealing with account managers, they don't do your work, but they want to be set at ease. They want to know that things are going to get done, that if they come to you, that's what happens. Doesn't matter what part of art you're in, all clients want to know that you can handle their stuff. But in that process, you will get the nightmare or demon of a client. At some point, you almost always will. It is very rare that you don't get that one client. But you got to know how to deal with them, because a lot of times that client is the make or break for you. That is the client that can open up a door. And in my case, I've had a few of them, and those ones have generated far more business for me than I ever would have thought. Let's wrap it up for you. What do you do when you get the nightmare client and you want to turn them into your dream? 1, make sure they understand. 2, set them at ease. And 3, keep them involved. As I like to say, can you hit the like button? And can you subscribe? That way we can do this together. Stay creative, keep a level head, do great work. Until next time, keep rocking with me, and I keep rocking with you.